Welcome to GeorgeWay mathTV.
Okay, so I'm being asked to divide, and my answer should give the quotient and the remainder. The fact that I see that I know that I have to use my long division. Okay, and my long division is like that. And always the number that I'm dividing by comes out. So I got the 4x plus 3. Just like if I had like 7/2 and I'm doing long division, what I'm dividing by, just like this one, it will come here, right? And what number I have at the top always goes in. So that's the same thing I'm doing. Always this one, I know it will come right here. And then the first one here will go inside. So I have my 16x to the third plus 20x squared. And again, I have to make sure it's in the right order. Like this is to the third, it reduced to the second. So if it was not arranged well, I know I will have to arrange it. But it's good. To the third, to the second, and it reduced to the, here there's like a 1, I can see. I mean, it's not showing, but I know it's a 1. So again, they keep reducing. So the next one is plus 10x. And then of course, after that, just that variable, the number will just come. So everything is in the right order. Okay. So now that I've checked to make sure everything is in the right order, and I've put this in the right place, this comes here, this comes here. Now, I remember this, what I should do. I always take the first term that I see here divided by the first term that I see here. And I'm going to be repeating that same process. But for now, I do 16x to the third divided by 4x. And I can do on the side. So I got 16x to the third divided by 4x. 16 divided by 4 is 4. X to the third divided by x is like there's a 1 here. So I can subtract the power. It's like 3 minus 1 is 2. So that means I have x to the 2. So now my answer is 4x2. And I put that 4x2 right here. So I know, again, I divide these two. Whatever I get, I put right here. And after I do that, I'm going to take this and multiply by each one of these. So 4x squared times 4x is 16x cubed. And then again 4x squared times 3, that is positive 12x squared. And I'm going to do this. And always I want the first one that I have right here to cancel. So any way that I can find to cancel it, I'm going to do that. So like this one right here, they're both positive. To be able to cancel this, I'm going to have to subtract. And any sign that I put right here, I have to put for this one also. So I subtracted, so I have to do the same thing right here. And of course, the reason why I did that is going to happen because when I subtract these two, I'll get 0. In other words, it will just cancel out. So now I have 20 minus 12, which is 8. And then of course the variable that I'm dealing with is x. So I have my x squared. Right there. And then I'm going to have to bring down everything. So the plus 10x will come down. The plus 8 will also come down. And I'm going to repeat the same process. So I take the first term that I see here divided by the first term here. So 8x squared divided by 4x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And x squared divided by x is x. So I have 2x, positive 2x. So I'm going to put that positive 2x right here. And I take this positive 2x and multiply by each of these two right here. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. And then 2x times 3 is 6x. And now, again, I always want the first one to cancel. they're both positive. So to cancel that, I'm going to have to subtract. But whatever I do here, I got to do the same thing right here. So now, these two, I'll get 0. So it will be cancelled. So I have 10x minus 6x, which is 4x. And then, I'll bring everything else down. My plus 8 will come down. And now, I'll do the same thing again. Same process. I take this first term divided by this first term. So I have that 4x divided by this 4x. 4x, the same thing divided by the same thing will just give me 1. So I have my positive 1 and I put that right here. Again, I do the same thing. Take this 1 and multiply by each term here. So 1 times 4x is 4x. 1 times 3 is 3. And then I want the first term to cancel. Or the first term right here to cancel. They're both positive. So I'm going to have to subtract to cancel. But whatever I do here, I have to do the same thing here. 4x minus 4x is 0. In other words, we'll cancel. And then 8 minus 3 is 5. And always the number that I get here, I know is my quotient. And the number that I have right here, the number I have here is my remainder. Man, that was gonna mess me up right here. Okay. The number that I have right here is always my remainder. And what I have at the top is my quotient. So let me just write it here so it'll be very neat. So my quotient is 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. And my remainder is always what I have here, which came out to be 5. And that's it. Well, let me just do this so I can just know I got this. I know I got this already, but should I do it or? Oh, let me just do this last one so I can really get this. All right. Let's see. So again, I'm asked to find the quotient and the remainder. And so I know for sure I'm going to need a long division to do it. So I have the long division like that. And always what I'm dividing by comes here. And looking at that, it is in the right order. Because every time you have the x, the next one should be the number. So it's in the right order, so I'm just going to put that down right there. 3x plus 2. And looking at this also, the highest power is 3. And then it reduced to 2. And then it reduced to, I can't see, but there's a 1 here. It reduced to 1. And after 1, it should always be just a number. So this is also in the right order. So I'm good. I don't have to rearrange anything or put anything or something. Like this one, I know that if there was nothing here, let's say it was just that, I will have to put 0x. But there is something there. So what is there, I have to actually put it. And for that one, there is what? Let me just make sure of this right here. 12x is right there. So that 12x, I have to put it there. Right? So I'm good. In other words, I'm good. So I'm just going to copy what I have right there. 6x to the third minus 5x squared plus 12x and then plus 16. I'm good. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did right here. I always start with the first term. So this 6x cubed divided by 3x. So I can do on the side 6x cubed divided by 3x. 6 divided by 3 is 2. X cubed divided by x is x squared. So that 2x squared, I'll put it right here. So whatever I have down here, I take that and multiply by each term right here. So 2x squared times 3x is 6x to the third. And that 2x squared times 2 is 4x squared. And now, the first terms I always have to cancel. So I know they're both positive. To be able to cancel, I have to subtract. And whatever I do here, I know I have to also do the same thing right here. So now 6 minus 6 is 0. In other words, it will cancel out. What about negative 5 minus 4? That is a negative 9 x squared. And I'm just going to have to bring everything else down. So plus 12x and then plus 16. And I'll repeat the same thing. Again, I take this first term divided by this first term. So negative 9x squared divided by 3x. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. And then x squared divided by x is x. So I have negative 3x. And I put that right there. And I take what I've put down here times each one of these. So negative 3x times 3x. And that is negative 9x squared. And negative 3x times 2 is negative 6x. They're both negative. To be able to cancel, which I always have to, this have to be a positive. So I'm going to have to subtract. So that negative will turn to a positive, right? But whatever I do here, I have to do the same thing right here. So now that I've done this, these two right here will cancel out. And I have 12 minus negative 6. Two negatives will turn to a positive. So I got 12 plus 6, which is 18x. And then I bring down my plus 16. Okay? I'll repeat the same process. I take this first term divided by this first term. 18x divided by 3x. And that is 6x, positive 6x. And I take this again and multiply by each one of these. 6x times 3x, that is 18x. 6x times this 2, that is 12. That is, oh, let me just make sure something right here. Okay, 18x divided by 3x. That actually will be 18 divided by 3 is 6. The x will cancel. So it should have been just 6. So now 6 times 3x is 18x. And then 6 times 2 is 12. And then not always the first terms have to cancel. They're both positive. So we're going to have to do what? Subtract to cancel. So I'm going to subtract. And if I subtract, that will cancel out. And whatever I do here, I have to do the same thing here. So 60 minus 12, that will give me 4. And always, I know that my quotient is going to be what I have right here. So my quotient is that 2x squared minus 3x plus 6. So that will be my quotient. And my remainder is always what I have right here. So in this case, my remainder is that 4 right there. And that's it. You might think, oh, this is long and all that. There's some process that you have to follow. But to be able to get it, you have to keep practicing. So that's why I will encourage you to keep doing this. If watching it again will help you, watch it and then practice on your own. The more you do it, you're going to be good, okay?
Please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell to be notified for new videos, and share.